Amitabha. From the Sutra. But in the eastern direction, there are also countless other Buddhas, like Akshobhya Buddha, the Buddha marks of the Polar Mountain, the Buddha Great Polar Mountain, the Buddha Light of the Polar Mountain, and the Buddha Wondrous Voice. Each of them, with the truthfulness of a Buddha, teaches in his own land and covers a whole cosmos, speaking these sincere words. All of you sentient beings should believe this sutra, extolling inconceivable virtues, which all Buddhas protect and keep in mind. In this and the next several passages from the sutra, we learn some more names of the innumerable Buddhas who praise the Amitabha Sutra. Like the Arhats and Bodhisattvas listed at the beginning of the sutra, these Buddhas are representative. Their names have profound meaning, with each one illustrating a particular quality of Buddhahood. Only Buddhas are listed in this section, because only they can fully understand and appreciate all that Amitabha has accomplished on our behalf. Like Sakyamuni, they praise the sutra, which all Buddhas protect and keep in mind. By understanding the meaning of the names of the Buddhas listed in the series of sutra passages, we will know the proper order for our practice. In addition, we will also know how to overcome all obstacles in our practice. The Buddhas of the eastern direction are listed first. Just as the sun rises in the east and begins our day, these Buddhas begin our learning journey by teaching us the fundamentals of learning and cultivation. It is upon this foundation that our determination to practice arises. The first Buddha named in the eastern direction was Akshobhya Buddha, meaning immovable. This Buddha's name signifies the principle of immovability, which is fundamental for learning and practicing not only the Pure Land Dharma door, but also all 84,000 Dharma doors. We must first have steadfast belief if we are to progress in our practice. If we lack firm belief and are constantly changing our mind, we will not be able to achieve much in Buddhism. With a genuine wish to practice, we should strive to stay away from the 5 desires. We should also strive not to be moved by the 8 winds of gain and loss, praise and blame, fame and disgrace, and happiness and suffering. As unawakened people, we are often swayed by our attachments to gain, praise, fame, and happiness, as well as by our aversions to loss, blame, disgrace, and suffering. Such desires and aversions distract us, and, in so doing, obstruct our cultivation. But worldly pursuits and conditions are not all that should be of concern to us. We also need to guard against the attraction of other Buddhist teachings. Having chosen the Pure Land Dharma door, we should remain focused on it, always concentrating on our practice of chanting the Buddha name. Likewise, those drawn to other Dharma doors should focus on their chosen method. If we waver in our practice when enticed by worldly desires and influences, we will not be able to transcend samsara. If we vacillate between various Dharma doors, we will not be able to delve deeply into just one. In other words, if the 5 desires and the 8 winds move us, we will continue to suffer within samsara. And if other Dharma doors move us, we will not achieve constant mindfulness of Amitabha Buddha. The next 3 Buddhas, marks of the polar mountain, great polar mountain, and light of the polar mountain, represent the goal that we Buddhist practitioners yearn to reach: Buddhahood. To better appreciate the symbolic significance of these 3 Buddhas, we need to first grasp the concept of the 3 bodies of a Buddha. To become a Buddha means the attainment of all 3: the truth body, the enjoyment body, and the manifestation body. The truth body is a Buddha's true body, the ultimate body, formless, transcendental, inconceivable. It is the true self that neither arises nor ceases, that is without beginning and without end. Who attains the truth body? Only those who, realizing that the physical body is the false self, have seen the true nature and attained great awakening. The enjoyment body is a Buddha's celestial body. It resides in a Pure Land and never appears to ordinary people. The enjoyment body has a beginning, but is without end. Once attained, this body will never again be mired in delusion. The enjoyment body is a wisdom body, the body of innate prajna wisdom. When a Pure Land practitioner is no longer deluded by dualism, Amitabha will respond by coming in his enjoyment body. He will guide the practitioner to the land of ultimate bliss, to be born in either the land of real reward or the land of eternally quiescent light. The manifestation body is a body that is incarnated by the truth body and is visible to ordinary beings. The appearance of a Buddha's manifestation body varies in accordance with the thoughts of the beings it appears to. The manifestation body, therefore, can have countless different appearances, not just one. Additionally, one truth body can have a vast number of manifestation bodies. When a Pure Land practitioner eradicates the affliction of views and thoughts, Amitabha will respond by appearing in a manifestation body. He will guide the practitioner to the land of ultimate bliss, to be born in either the land where sages and ordinary beings dwell together, or the land of expedient liberation. The concept of the 3 bodies of a Buddha is significant. In the following, we will see how it relates to the 3 Buddhas who represent the practitioner's goal of Buddhahood. The first of these 3 is Buddha marks of the polar mountain. In Buddhist cosmology, the polar mountain is at the center of the universe. Buddha marks of the polar mountain signifies the enjoyment body. The sutras explain that this Buddha's name symbolizes the fact that the body of a Buddha has innumerable marks or physical attributes, each of which is infinitely wonderful. His auspicious marks and his radiance are admired by beings throughout the 9 realms. The next of the 3 Buddhas, Buddha Great Polar Mountain, signifies the truth body. This body is the noumenon, or principle, of all phenomena. The truth body is that which creates. The enjoyment body and the manifestation body are those which are created. Great in Great Polar Mountain does not mean big. Rather, it means that there is nothing more or less than this, that it contains everything. The last of this group of 3, Buddha Light of the Polar Mountain, signifies the manifestation body and infinite good fortune. The radiance of this Buddha illuminates the entire universe, because the light of Buddha Light of the Polar Mountain pervades everywhere. This Buddha manifests everywhere. As with all Buddhas, there is a connection between Buddha Light of the Polar Mountain and the beings who request his help. The connection is called wave motion. The wave motion of all Buddhas is called light and is quiescent. Conversely, our wave motions are constantly arising and ceasing and are, therefore, called waves. A Buddha's wave motion can be likened to tranquil water, whereas our wave motion is like raging surf. But as both are components of a vast ocean with many aspects, calm water and turbulent surf are inevitably interconnected. The 5th and final Buddha named in the eastern direction was Buddha Wondrous Voice. Wondrous Voice signifies that single-mindedly chanting the name of Amitabha Buddha is the core method of both learning and practice. This extraordinary chanting, which is the simultaneous application of meditative concentration and wisdom, is the most wondrous sound in this world and beyond. When one mindfully chants the Buddha name, this sound will move all the Buddhas throughout the Dharma realm. Then Sakyamuni said, each of them, with the truthfulness of a Buddha, teaches in his own land and covers a whole cosmos, speaking these sincere words. All of you sentient beings should believe this sutra, extolling inconceivable virtues, which all Buddhas protect and keep in mind. Here, he referred to the 5 Buddhas named, as well as countless other Buddhas in the eastern direction. Further on in the sutra, Sakyamuni repeated these same words with regard to all the Buddhas in the 6 directions. The truthfulness of a Buddha indicates that everything a Buddha says is the truth. As Sakyamuni assured us in the Diamond Sutra, a Buddha never lies or exaggerates. Furthermore, all Buddhas expound the same universal truths, which arise from their shared true nature. If a Buddha were to say one untruthful word, it would cause us to doubt all his words. This, in turn, would result in his no longer being able to assist all beings. Therefore, a Buddha will always speak the truth. Why do all Buddhas try their utmost to convince us to learn and practice the teachings in this sutra? They know that the land of ultimate bliss is no ordinary land. Rather, it is like a school, one jointly supported by all these Buddhas. These enlightened beings are like parents to us, the unawakened beings. They know that we, like children, need to be taught properly if we are to uncover our perfect wisdom, virtues, and abilities. To this end, the school was established, and its teachings are protected and kept in mind by all Buddhas. From the Sutra. In the worlds of the southern direction, there are countless other Buddhas, like the Buddha, lamp of the sun and moon, the Buddha light of renown, the Buddha great blazing shoulders, the Buddha lamp of the polar mountain, and the Buddha infinite vigor. Each of them, with the truthfulness of a Buddha, teaches in his own land and covers a whole cosmos, speaking these sincere words. All of you sentient beings should believe this sutra, extolling inconceivable virtues, which all Buddhas protect and keep in mind. The names of the 5 Buddhas in the southern direction represent the cultivation of innate prajna wisdom, which all beings possess. Perfectly awakened beings function entirely from their innate prajna wisdom, while we deluded beings rarely use ours. We are unable to, because we have overwhelming karmic obstacles. The result? We remain mired in delusion. Delusion is one's afflictions and residual habits. Because we are deluded, our wisdom lies hidden. Fortunately, if we truly practice according to Sakyamuni Buddha, our wisdom will shine through. Consider the following analogy about wisdom. The wisdom of Buddhas is like the sun on a beautiful cloudless day. It shines radiantly without any obstruction. The wisdom of us ordinary beings, however, is like sunlight on an overcast day. Although the sun is shining, dark clouds obstruct its light. In a similar manner, our obstacles block and prevent our wisdom from shining forth. What are these obstacles? They are our wandering thoughts, discriminations, and attachments. As the Amitabha Sutra says, all beings have the wisdom and virtues of a Buddha, but cannot attain them due to their wandering thoughts and attachments. To overcome our wandering thoughts and attachments, Sakyamuni Buddha taught us how to cultivate. Once we eliminate these impediments, the wisdom and abilities innate in our true nature, our prajna wisdom, will shine through. The first Buddha named in the southern direction was Buddha lamp of the sun and moon. In our world, the sun shines radiantly during the day, and the moon illuminates at night. Lamps can brighten places where sunlight and moonlight cannot reach. Lamp of the sun and moon signifies that innate prajna wisdom, which is wisdom unhindered by obstructions, is able to perfectly illuminate all things in all places. The second Buddha, named in the southern direction, was Buddha light of renown. Here too, light signifies wisdom. Renown refers to fame, a state where one is highly acclaimed and widely honored for one's accomplishments. This is often accompanied by wealth. The attainment of renown is a critical juncture in one's cultivation. Fame risks entrapment. So it is crucial that decisive action be taken at this point. In personally enjoying fame, it will be easy for one to look down on others. With such arrogance, regression will follow. When we reach this juncture of fame and wealth, we will need to not only use wisdom to illuminate the darkness of our delusion, we will also need to shine it on our renown. In other words, upon having achieved some distinction for our cultivation, this repute must be clearly illuminated and understood. There must not be the slightest attachment to fame, prestige, gain, and wealth. Otherwise, we will be obstructed by them and remain trapped in the cycle of rebirth when we should be transcending it. To transcend, we need to eradicate our afflictions. Failing to do so, our innate wisdom will continue to remain largely inaccessible. With the eradication of a part of our afflictions, a part of our wisdom will come forth. With the elimination of all of our afflictions, our innate wisdom will come forth fully. Eradicating afflictions, letting go of wandering thoughts, discriminations, and attachments, takes careful cultivation and innate wisdom. How do we begin to uncover this wisdom? Not through studying many teachings. The way to reveal our wisdom is to delve deeply into just one method and immerse ourselves in it for a long time. This immersion will enable us to understand Sakyamuni Buddha's teachings and practice in accordance with them. Sakyamuni taught us to see the truth and to let go of our wandering thoughts, discriminations, and attachments. When we start to let go a little of our wisdom is revealed, and we will see a little of the truth. Seeing some of the truth will, in turn, help us let go a bit more, uncover a bit more wisdom, and help us see even more of the truth. From our initial generation of the Bodhi mind, Until our attainment of Buddhahood, our learning and practice of Buddhism consists of letting go of our wandering thoughts, discriminations, and attachments, uncovering wisdom, and seeing the truth. After we put into practice what we learn from the names of Buddha lamp of the sun and moon, and Buddha light of renown, we will reveal two kinds of wisdom: real wisdom and expedient wisdom. The importance of these two wisdoms can be grasped thanks to the third Buddha, great blazing shoulders. As practitioners, we should shoulder or take up the responsibility to propagate the Dharma and help all beings. To accomplish this, we need both real wisdom and expedient wisdom. Real wisdom is a pure mind, the mind of sincerity, purity, and impartiality. When we are even just a little attached to our fame, prestige, gain, or wealth, we will no longer have a sincere, pure, and impartial mind. We will not have real wisdom. Consequently, we will also be devoid of expedient wisdom, which is proper understanding and compassion. Therefore, in lacking a sincere, pure, and impartial mind, we also lack proper understanding and compassion. Instead of having compassion for all beings, we will be concerned about those we like and indifferent to those we dislike. This is partiality, not impartiality. It is not the way to aid all beings. To propagate the Dharma and aid all beings, we need both wisdoms. Real wisdom, the mind of sincerity, purity, and impartiality, and also expedient wisdom, proper understanding, and compassion. The name of the fourth Buddha is Lamp of the Polar Mountain. This Buddha's name teaches us that in the cultivation of wisdom, the 8 sub-consciousnesses that make up the consciousness need to be transformed to wisdom. The first 5 sub-consciousnesses are sight, hearing, smell, taste, and touch. The 6th is mental awareness. The 7th is the thinking mind. And the 8th is the store consciousness. Like an enormous warehouse, this 8th consciousness stores all the karmic impressions from our countless lifetimes over innumerable kalpas. Each of these 8 sub-consciousnesses has a particular role. The first 5 consciousnesses allow us to perceive through the eyes, ears, nose, tongue, and body. Discriminations come about from the mental awareness consciousness. Attachments come about from the thinking mind consciousness. Wandering thoughts come about from the store consciousness. These 8 sub-consciousnesses form the consciousness, the false mind. We need to transform this into the true mind. The true mind is wisdom. Bodhisattvas show us how to accomplish this transformation. As Venerable Master Ching Kung explained, in cultivating oneself and teaching others, the goal is to break through delusion and attain awakening. One should transform the sixth or mental awareness subconsciousness to wisdom of wondrous observation. Transform the seventh or thinking mind subconsciousness to wisdom of equality in nature. Transform the eighth or store subconsciousness to great, perfect mirror wisdom. And transform the first five subconsciousnesses to wisdom of completion of actions. With their wisdom coming forth, bodhisattvas transform the mental awareness consciousness to the wisdom of wondrous observation. Wondrous observation is to understand clearly. When the eyes see, one knows precisely what is being viewed. When the ears hear, one knows precisely what is being heard. Similarly, when the nose smells, the tongue tastes, and the body touches, one knows precisely what they are smelling, tasting, and touching. When one's mental awareness consciousness is transformed into a mind like that of a bodhisattva, one is clear about one's thoughts. This is wondrous observation. It is like a mirror that reflects clearly with no wandering thoughts, discriminations, and attachments. It is true wisdom. If there is discrimination in one's knowing, one is deluded and using one's consciousness, not wisdom. Next, the thinking mind consciousness is transformed to wisdom of equality in nature. Attachments arise from the thinking mind consciousness. With attachments, everything is viewed with partiality. I want it to be this way or that way. I think this is right and that's wrong. With the elimination of such attachments, impartiality will come forth, and wisdom of equality in nature will be attained. At this point, we will be able to fulfill tasks perfectly. Using consciousness while engaging in a task will inevitably lead to our making mistakes. This happens because, with the use of consciousness, our consideration is limited. When using wisdom, however, we will see the past, the present, and the future, and everything in the 10 directions. With time and space perceived in this new manner, we will accomplish all tasks perfectly. Finally, the store consciousness is transformed to great, perfect mirror wisdom. Great perfect mirror is a metaphor for all-knowing. Why all-knowing? Embedded in the store consciousness are the seeds of residual habits from innumerable kalpas. These residual habits may be good, bad, or morally neutral. Regardless, all of them are transformed into wisdom. With great, perfect mirror wisdom, one is clear, without the slightest confusion, about all causes and effects. When the mental awareness consciousness is transformed to wisdom of wondrous observation, the thinking mind consciousness to wisdom of equality in nature, and the store consciousness to great, perfect mirror wisdom, the first 5 consciousnesses will be transformed to the wisdom of completion of actions. One then acts from this wisdom of completion of actions. Such actions of wisdom can benefit oneself as well as others. One benefits oneself by attaining 32 major marks and 80 secondary characteristics. Some examples of the 32 marks, which are the major physical attributes of a Buddha, are light radiating from between the eyebrows, a golden complexion, a circle of light, and an excellent voice. The secondary physical characteristics, which are more subtle, include a face like a clear, full moon, fragrance emitting from the pores and mouth, deportment as awesome as that of a lion, a graceful and steady gait. One benefits others by being a role model and a teacher. This sets an example for all beings. Both serving as a good role model and as a teacher are expressed in the world by the first 5 transformed subconsciousnesses. Learning Buddhism means to learn from Buddhas and Bodhisattvas how to transform our consciousness to wisdom. With such wisdom, we will remain unaffected by the situations we encounter. Currently, we are affected by everything. Encountering a favorable situation, we become attached to it. Facing an adverse situation, our anger and aversion arise. Explained in terms of the 8 subconsciousnesses, this means that when we come into contact with a situation, our afflictions immediately arise as 7 emotions. The 7 are pleasure, anger, sorrow, joy, love, hate, and desire. When we react in response to these, we commit negative karmas. Once these negative karmas are committed, we will naturally suffer their retributions. Fortunately, thanks to having learned the meaning of the name of Buddha Lamp of the Polar Mountain, we now know how to stop this destructive behavior. By transforming consciousness into wisdom, we will stop creating negative karmas, stop planting the seeds for future suffering. The 5th and final Buddha named in the southern direction was Buddha Infinite Vigor. Vigor, or diligence, is our root of cultivation. It will facilitate the attainment of great wisdom. Sakyamuni Buddha used the metaphor of a root to show the process of growth, of flowering, and of fruit-bearing. From where do all wholesome dharmas here in the cycle of rebirth originate and grow? From the 3 good roots of no greed, no anger, and no ignorance. Vigorous cultivation of these 3 good roots will bring us good fortune. Lack of their cultivation will result in misfortune. Having good fortune or misfortune depends on our thoughts. With one worthy thought, we plant a seed for good fortune. With one wrong thought, we plant a seed for misfortune. Understanding this, we will practice changing our thoughts so as to stop planting seeds for misfortune. Our intentions will be good. Our thoughts and actions will be virtuous. This is our daily cultivation. From the Sutra. In the worlds of the Western direction, there are countless other Buddhas, like the Buddha Infinite Life, the Buddha Innumerable Characteristics, the Buddha Innumerable Banners, the Buddha Great Light, the Buddha Great Illumination, the Buddha Jewel Appearance, and the Buddha Light of Purity. Each of them, with the truthfulness of a Buddha, teaches in his own land and covers a whole cosmos, speaking these sincere words. All of you sentient beings should believe this sutra extolling inconceivable virtues, which all Buddhas protect and keep in mind. As previously seen, the names of the Buddhas in the Eastern direction teach us the fundamentals of learning and cultivation. We also learned that the names of the Buddhas in the Southern direction teach us to cultivate wisdom. Now, from the names of the Buddhas in the Western direction, we will learn to accumulate good fortune. As we do this, we need to remember that we do not seek good fortune for our personal enjoyment. Rather, our objective in accumulating good fortune is to help others by leading them to practice. Our own life will serve as an example. People will wonder how we acquired the advantages that we have. A long and healthy life, good appearance, prestige, wisdom. By example, we will be able to show people that, through practice, they too can attain such advantages. The first Buddha named in the Western direction was Buddha Infinite Life. It is a name shared by many Buddhas, including the Buddha of the Western Pure Land. Buddha Infinite Life is named first in this passage because infinite life is of vital importance. Even within the context of this present lifetime, a long lifespan is one kind of good fortune. When one has a long lifespan, one has a greater opportunity to practice and thus to awaken sooner. We can better understand this when we consider how hard it is for us humans to succeed in our practice. The average human lifetime is a matter of mere decades, and much of that time is spent sleeping, working, socializing, and with family. We allocate very little of our day to actual practice. With a longer lifespan, however, our cumulative practice time can increase. With that, the likelihood of our success will also increase. The second Buddha named was Buddha Innumerable Characteristics. Characteristics such as a youthful complexion and a graceful gait are the auspicious physical attributes that adorn a Buddha's manifestation body. Such features symbolize good fortune. As with all forms of good fortune, both a long lifespan and a pleasing appearance are for the benefit of others, not for personal enjoyment. In one's continuous efforts to help others to understand and accept Buddhism, such attributes can be very compelling as they exemplify good fortune. It is most effective, therefore, if pleasing physical attributes are plainly evident. Appreciating this will help us better understand the next Buddha. The third Buddha named was Buddha Innumerable Banners. This name signifies superiority and prominence. In times past in China, a banner would be displayed conspicuously at a monastery to signal that a virtuous and wise monastic was teaching the Dharma there. In a similar manner, this Buddha's name informs us that he is a Buddha of great prominence and prestige, acknowledged highly for his virtue and wisdom. Due to these accomplishments, he is respected by countless beings. Again, we see the importance of good fortune, which in this example occurs as prominence. The fourth Buddha was Buddha Great Light, whose name refers to the light of wisdom. Longevity, good fortune, and prominence all originate from great wisdom. The fifth Buddha was Buddha Great Illumination. This name signifies why great wisdom is so important. Perceiving that a being has attained great wisdom assures others that the being is qualified to help them also achieve such benefits. The sixth Buddha was Buddha Jewel Appearance. His name signifies an excellent appearance. As we learned from Buddha Innumerable Characteristics, an excellent appearance is a sign of great good fortune. The seventh and final Buddha named in the Western direction was Buddha Light of Purity. This name signifies the foundation for cultivating good fortune. For us to perfectly attain great good fortune, our three karmic activities of thought, speech, and action must be radiant and pure, just like this Buddha's name, Light of Purity. The Buddhas cited in this sutra passage can help us reinforce our dedication to chanting the Buddha name and learning the Pure Land teachings. In so doing, we will purify our mind and thus accumulate great good fortune. From the Sutra. In the worlds of the northern direction, there are countless other Buddhas, like the Buddha Blazing Shoulders, the Buddha Supreme Voice, the Buddha Hard to Injure, the Buddha Born of the Sun, and the Buddha Netted Light. Each of them, with the truthfulness of a Buddha, teaches in his own land and covers the whole cosmos, speaking these sincere words. All of you sentient beings should believe this sutra extolling inconceivable virtues, which all Buddhas protect and keep in mind. The names of the Buddhas in the northern direction show us that once we have wisdom, as taught by the Buddhas in the southern direction, and good fortune, as taught by the Buddhas in the western direction, then we should educate others how to attain these as well. The first Buddha named in the northern direction was Buddha Blazing Shoulders. His name signifies that one should take up the dual mission of all Buddhas, propagate the Dharma, and aid all beings. How to accomplish this is taught through the significance of the names of the remaining 4 Buddhas in the northern direction. The second Buddha was Buddha Supreme Voice. This name signifies that one carries out the Buddha's work with one's voice. As Pure Land practitioners, we understand that the Supreme Voice is the voice that teaches us how to be born in the Pure Land and urges mindful chanting of Amitabha Buddha's name. Sadly, we rarely hear this voice. Instead, voices on the internet, television, and in other media assault us on a daily basis. An unending barrage contaminates our thoughts, actions, and speech. Such voices do not encourage us to become better people. Rather, they incite us to consider our own desires before the needs of others, to seek revenge at the slightest insult, to care for those we like, while we disregard everyone else. These voices will draw us to the 3 evil paths. Instead of these voices, we need to listen to the Pure Land teachings, for they can help us transcend samsara, never again regress, and become a Buddha. The third Buddha named was Buddha Hard to Injure. This name signifies that when one properly propagates and protects the Dharma, one is courageously making focused and diligent progress. And in doing so, one fears no outside obstructions or difficulties. When propagating Buddhism, we will inevitably face many obstacles. Consequently, for us to give rise to our wisdom, we must determine to never be overwhelmed by these obstructions. Moreover, upon encountering them, we must not fight, remembering that Buddhas and Bodhisattvas never oppose anyone. Indeed, this is why Bodhisattvas are called benevolent beings. A benevolent being does not look on any other being as an enemy. When someone attempts to pick a fight, the benevolent being naturally forgives the person and avoids any confrontation. Such a being feels no anger, gives rise to no thoughts of revenge. This is an awakened being. This is a bodhisattva. Consider an account of the king of Kalinga. One day, the king and members of his court went hunting. While the king was resting, the ladies in the entourage saw an ascetic. Curious, they went to him and happily listened as he taught them the Dharma. When the king awoke and saw them associating with a stranger, some members of the hunting party wrongly told him that the ascetic was flirting with the women. The king flew into a rage and had the ascetic killed by dismemberment. In spite of this, the ascetic did not harbor the slightest hatred toward the king. The ascetic was, in fact, an awakened being. Indeed, he vowed that the king would be the first person he would help after he attained enlightenment. We learn from sutra accounts that the ascetic was Sakyamuni Buddha in an earlier rebirth. After Sakyamuni attained enlightenment, the first person he helped was one of his former 5 companions, Kondinya. In a previous lifetime, Kondinya was that king of Kalinga. Such are the actions of awakened beings. What are the actions of unawakened beings? Beings like us. Too quickly, we give in to anger and thoughts of retaliation. Realizing this, we now have the opportunity to determine our level of practice. As soon as the confrontation arises, where on the spectrum are we? Are we awakened or still deluded? If we are to awaken, we must exercise self-control. Upon encountering minor difficulties, we should feel neither angry nor vengeful. If we can accomplish this, then in the face of a serious obstacle, it will be much more likely that our cultivation will enable us to naturally remain calm and confident. Finally, when we are able to deal with any situation wisely, not emotionally, nothing will be able to impede us. The 4th Buddha named was Buddha born of the sun. Sun represents wisdom. Born of the sun signifies that teaching and learning complement and support each other. Like the wisdom sun of the teacher and that of the students, brightening up the sky. Teachers must follow what they have learned, including their own teachers' methods, to instruct the students. In turn, students need to learn diligently, and when the time comes, pass those teachings down to the next generation. This process will enable the Dharma to stay in a world for a long time, to benefit humans and heavenly beings. The 5th and last Buddha named in the northern direction was Buddha Netted Light. This name signifies the abundant methods employed to fulfill the great vow to help all beings. Buddhas use countless methods, which are analogous to a great net, one that is able to lift up and thus rescue all beings from the sea of suffering. If Dharma propagators and protectors make and uphold such a great vow, maintain such a broad mind, and hold such an aspiration, then Buddhism will flourish. From the Sutra. In the worlds of the Nadir, there are countless other Buddhas, like the Buddha Lion, the Buddha Repute, the Buddha Light of Name, the Buddha Dharma, the Buddha Dharma Banner, and the Buddha upholding the Dharma. Each of them, with the truthfulness of a Buddha, teaches in his own land and covers the whole cosmos, speaking these sincere words. All of you sentient beings should believe this sutra extolling inconceivable virtues, which all Buddhas protect and keep in mind. The names of the 6 Buddhas in the Nadir represent Buddhism, a teaching that shows all beings how to break through delusion and attain awakening. The 6 names also signify seeking birth in the Western Pure Land. Both attaining awakening and seeking birth in the Pure Land are accomplished through wisdom. Thus, wisdom is imperative. Unfortunately, the highest priority for many people today is the accumulation of wealth. For them, good health and longevity come next in importance, and then wisdom. Thus, of the three, wisdom is often viewed as the least important. Clearly, prioritizing this way is due to ignorance, a lack of understanding. In Buddhism, the most important of the three priorities is wisdom. Here, too, good health and longevity come next. But wealth is last. Having wisdom, one will know the causes that will allow one to attain health, longevity, and wealth. But more significantly, by uncovering wisdom, one will know how to reach supreme, perfect enlightenment. The first Buddha named in the Nader was Buddha Lion. When a lion roars, all other animals pause and listen. Likewise, when a Buddha speaks, innumerable beings stop to hear his teachings on how to end suffering and attain lasting happiness. The second Buddha named was Buddha Repute. His name signifies that when bodhisattvas or patriarchs act on behalf of Buddhas to propagate Buddhism, they become famous. But because these bodhisattvas and patriarchs are awakened and have wisdom, they know that this fame is to be used to benefit others, not themselves. The third Buddha named was Buddha Light of Name. Light signifies ultimate and perfect wisdom, the wisdom of all Buddhas. This wisdom enables the Buddhas to adapt their teaching methods to suit and accommodate all beings, regardless of their abilities or personal preferences. Name teaches us to chant the Buddha name until our mind is no longer deluded and we achieve one mind undisturbed. Accomplishing this, we will be born in the Western Pure Land. The fourth Buddha named was Buddha Dharma. The Dharma is the truth that all Buddhas teach. In our world, the teachings of Sakyamuni Buddha have been faithfully passed down by patriarchs and accomplished masters. By relying on their words, which are ultimately the words of Sakyamuni Buddha, we are relying on the Dharma. The fifth Buddha named was Buddha Dharma Banner. Here again, we see that banner in a Buddha's name signifies the instruction of how to choose from the diverse Dharma doors set forth by Sakyamuni Buddha. For beginners who are trying to find which method is most suitable, it can be a very confusing time. A Dharma master, accomplished in cultivation and experienced in teaching, can help people choose a Dharma door, pointing these people in the right direction for their learning and cultivation. The sixth Buddha named in the Nader was Buddha upholding the Dharma. This name means that we uphold, receive, and always practice the Buddha's teachings. If we wish that all beings who have an affinity with a Buddha come to accept, uphold, and study his teachings, and also teach others through their own words and behavior, we must first do so ourselves. This will set a good example. Buddhas, past patriarchs, and accomplished practitioners sincerely practiced the teachings before they taught people. When one fulfills the teachings, and indeed benefits from them, it is proof that the Dharma door being practiced is the right one. When we too accomplish this, it means that we have no doubts or questions. Those we teach will believe us.